Welcome to a quick update of various gardening projects I have around here, and mostly planned for additions to my herb garden, but also a bit of culinary stuff that's going on at home. These are borlotti beans, and I've grown them in a spare tub, and I'm using light from a window, side window. Basically they've shot up, probably bolted to a certain extent, but it's now late July, so I'm racing against time to get a crop off them this year. I've got about half a dozen down the allotments, and they're a bit more substantial than these ones. They've been in for a while, but these ones I've hurried them along, and I will be taking these down and seeing if I can get a crop from them. I've been feeding them using tomato food, and basically they're in sort of a fairly rich compost, but they'll be ready for cropping out. And I did this here because I was a bit tired of slugs and snails getting at my, more exotic crops. And these, I've never grown borlotti before. I've watched other people's crops, and I thought, well, let's have a go myself. And so hopefully, using a combination of techniques, I'm bringing them on back at home. I just want to get more success with the varieties which are a bit more, high end for me to grow, and to see if I can get a crop from them. Borlotti beans. My guinea pigs have really enjoyed these. Carrots Amsterdam, and they eat the tops as well. Give them a good wash. Nearly all done now. Only a few left in my little tub, as you can see. They've been in since April. When I first put them in, I put a plastic cover over them and use sticks, as you can see there, and with that protection from frost and excesses of pests, they've grown okay. My leaf lettuce was sown only a month ago, and basically this can be sown right throughout the summer months. Even though the seeds were dated 2004, these came up well. I just cropped them as and when. And also I keep some white chard as well for the same purpose, mostly used in salads, etc. And of course the guinea pigs eat the younger leaves from these ones, but they really do love this leaf lettuce. Morrison's had these woodland strawberries, which were kind of like an ancient variety of strawberry, and although the actual fruit on them is a lot smaller, as you can see, they're very delicious. They sort of have white inside, as you can see. They're a different texture, but quite tingly in taste and very nice to eat. As you can see, the strawberries are still in flower in late July, so this crop of woodland strawberries kept on the drive it keeps producing lots. I've just cropped it yesterday, and I took about 60 of these little strawberries off it. It's basically just two plants which I got from Morrison's, and just kept in a tub. As you can see, they just keep cropping much later than the strawberry crop that's already finished on the allotment. My tomatoes, quite late in developing, I think, but kept them on the drive, but they are in flower now, as you can see. And the lower I've pinched out in between the actual stems and staked them out, and this year, I think for the first year, I may well get a bit of a crop. The bush tomatoes and other varieties of tomatoes that I've got done better in full sun here on the drive. This year has been very good for blackberries. They're at various stages of development, as you can see, and it's now July the 24th. Very heavy rain recently, but hoping for success. And of course, not just me who likes the blackberries, it's also wildlife such as blackbirds, and I can hear an adult blackbird at the moment calling to its youngster, so hopefully they'll be able to pick a few of these off as well. And I've got a huge canopy of these in my back garden. I just let it grow wild really and trim it all back in September. I managed to find this plant, and it's French tarragon, which can be used for pickling. It can be used in sauces, and also particularly in, obviously, as I say, with vinegar, which is pickling, chicken and egg dishes. And it's the flavour of this one is as hardy as Russian tarragon, but they do say the flavour itself is more intense. So that was a good find at a garden centre near the Dukeries, near Worksop. I also found this plant here, which is an unusual form of coriander. It's Vietnamese coriander, and it's an intensely aromatic plant, and basically its culinary uses, the leaves are very hot and spicy. Use them in stir fries, it says, and also lovely with pork and pineapple, used with curries and used sparingly to begin with. Both of these plants, when I got them, were in very small tubs, and I always repot as far as possible. Squirrels love these, and blackbirds, and also sparrows will pick at them as well. It's crab apples. I've got a number of varieties in the garden of different types, larger ones and smaller ones too, which are on this particular plant. You can just about see them as silhouetted against the sky. You can of course grow your own crab apples from seed. I've done it. This will be a yellow variety, and I shall take some of these down the allotment when they're a bit taller. And there's another one next to it which is a bit more suitable, about ready for planting out. That's a crab apple, this one here, which I've grown from seed from crab apples in my garden. They're good pollinators, very excellent pollinators. That's the reason I should have mentioned that. That's the reason why you grow them on the allotment. Another recent addition to my plants has been blue crop blueberry. Now they run out of my local Wilco's. I was desperate to get one, so I did get one eventually. They were only £3. This one here is a superb variety. When I looked it up, it's one of the larger varieties of blueberry that can go to as high as 5 feet and spread 5 feet. Unlike other ones I've seen even in garden centres or even in wall gardens, this is a much more vigorous variety. They do say it probably is better to plant more than one, and possibly other different varieties as well. And I don't have ericaceous compost, but I did find out from blogs, etc., and research that this will do just as well. It's basically loads of pine trees near where I live in Nottinghamshire. So I just got some pine needles from the bottom of my garden from a neighbour's huge conifers. Basically, this is acid and makes the acid environment that's fine. So I basically got a whole stack of it, a whole stash of it, as you can see. And I'll just let that rot down around the plant, and I fed it. You are supposed to feed them, and I'll just see. I mean, at the moment it's a container, and then I could dig a hole and put the same thing, the same acid environment around them at the allotment, and see if I can get some blueberries next year. A couple of very useful herbs to be in addition to any herbarium would be lemon verbena. This has an intense flavour. It's like sherbet lemon, basically. It's described as by the gardener Monty Don. It really is a beautiful herb to grow and can be used in many things, cooking and cakes, and even for drinks. And next to that one we have tea tree, which this is a variety which has been produced especially to survive the colder European climates. It's more hardy, and I've picked these two up recently in a visit to the National Trust. They seem to have a variety there. They're not always in stock. It's just as and when you turn up. If you're lucky, they're there. The other plant I picked up yesterday is an English mace, an unusual plant, it says here. A hardy perennial with finely divided aromatic bright green leaves and many small cream daisy-like flowers. Only goes to a height of about 18 inches, so it's full height when I got it. The culinary use, the aromatic leaves can be put into flavour soups and stews or chopped into potato salads. So that's English mace. And to show you against the light here, it's quite overcast today, that's the flowers. It's in flower at the moment, so it's nice to see these herbs when they're actually in flower, and it's a beautiful herb at full height. They only had these in for the first time when I went to the trust place where I go to. The other plant they also had, which I've been looking for a while, is called Myrtle, and this is a highly aromatic plant, not unlike juniper, and the leaves and also the berries and the flowers have uses in potpourri, also in cooking as well. As I say, a highly aromatic plant produces these deep blue berries, and grows to quite a height. It says an extensive, quite a tall shrubby bush. They did have one of these in the walled garden, which I believe, but they'd already cropped the berries from it. So an unusual find, I thought, and hardy, a European variety that that's been bred specifically for conditions in Europe. Myrtle. I'm very fond of this shrub, and it's called sea holly. I've got it in diffuse light, not total sunlight, and basically it's variegated, and it's called sea holly. It tolerates salty, windy conditions. First saw it growing in people's cottage gardens in Norfolk, and I was really struck by it. Not sure if it is an ilex, like other hollies, but it just is such a special plant to me. I really love it. Reminds me of going on holiday many years ago. This is my green fennel, and it has grown very well. It's grown to a height of about 3 feet. Once it goes to seed, you can use the seeds in pies, in fruit pies, and the stalks and other parts of the plant can be used in various soups and stews and with other meat dishes, and it's grown very well here. It was only when I actually tasted some of the parsley that have actually grown at home, I realised how tangy it really is compared to shop-bought parsley, and it makes a huge difference to grow parsley at home, your own. The flavours are just so much more intense. These basil were grown from seed, and it looks like I've got about half a dozen of them now, probably originally about 12 to 14 seeds, but in full sun now, and hoping they're going to make it up to mature plant. I've got a little grafted rowan tree in my front garden. Sometimes use the rowan berries. It can be handy for making jellies and even adding to jams as well. Slowly ripening at the moment. This is a compact variety of strawberries that again got from local shop Wilkinson's, and it will produce some strawberries, but much later. These are my chives. Got 2 plants from, as you can see, Morrison's Market Street, and they've done extremely well in a tub. Extremely good and useful for cooking. It is very, very aromatic. Has grown extremely well in partial sun, and I would say has reached over 3 feet in height. So I've cropped it a bit as and when needed for culinary purposes, but a beautiful spread on this. I also got these bolottis out, part of them on this little plot here, which I've reserved, and already the ones that are here already, is one there, you see, and another one there, and on another little plot just up here, done the same again. Some of them hadn't quite, the leading sort of radical hadn't come out yet, but these ones here were ones I planted down the allotment from seed, and they were less successful in propagation. 100% propagation rate at home, but we'll have to see. As you can see, some of them had only just come up. We'll have to see how the bolottis get on. All in now. That's it tonight then. Red currants harvested. There's quite a few more left lurking around, as you can probably see, but these beauties will have to wait till next time, as you can see. Well, that's it for today, Monday, 24th of July. Song thrush sings us out for the day, and the sun sets over the chimney pots and roofs of village. Thanks for watching, and hope I'll keep you updated with how things pan out with my new additions.